Hey guys, it's Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. This is today's project. It is our 14 Days of Love inspired window box. Look at this. Isn't that so cute? All right, so this project is bonus content for the 14 Days of Love. So if you've seen the 14 Days of Love, this is our tutorial. It is available for 14 days. It's 15 tutorials, and our idea here is Valentine treats, paper crafting inspiration for Valentine's Day and way beyond. So there are boxes, bags, gift card holder, fun fold cards, interactive cards, 15 tutorials in here. There's 15 crafty ideas that are going to wow your friends and family and get you Stampin' Now. But in addition to that, during the Days of Love, I am going to inspire you with bonus content. So this original is Adorable Owls Window Treat Box, and it is page 33 of your 14 Days of Love tutorial. Now, I can't show you what's inside. The 14 Days of Love is $27.95. 15 tutorials. It's $1.87 a tutorial. But let me show you something here. There is bonus content to be collected throughout the Days of Love, now through February 13th. And you can print the additional bonus content and add it to your tutorial. So this is the one that we're doing today. The printable project sheet will be on the blog, kitchentablestamper.com. You can also purchase the 14 Days of Love tutorial there. And when you purchase that, you will get the bonus content, just print it out and add it to your binder. Or if you don't want to put it in a binder, it's a PDF file. So you can go ahead and start a file on your computer or tablet, add the PDF 14 Days of Love tutorial in there, and then you can download and save the bonus content in the same folder. All right, so however you choose to do it, print it out. I know paper people, we're paper crafters, we're paper people. We like to oftentimes print our tutorials out and keep our binders. But if you're more of a digital minded, it's a PDF tutorial that you can just store and add the bonus content to in the same file. All right, so our treat box is 9.5 by 6, and we're gonna score at 2.5, 3.5, 6, and 7. You don't have to scramble to write this down. There's that printable project sheet. Whether you've got the 14 Days of Love tutorial or not, you can go print the project sheet with the measurements. We're going to score at 1 inch on both 6-inch sides, and that is how easy our window box is. Now, let me show you. So we got to get that window in there and the little flaps to hold the treat in and finish the corners. So we're going to work the scores with the bone folder, and we're going to trim according to the template. Then we're going to cut a window. All right, let me grab my bone folder. All right, scores are burnished. Now I like to trim and then cut my window. So let's grab a pair of paper snips. Now this is 2.5 inches, whether you're coming or going, all right? So 2.5 inches from the left side, 2.5 inches from the right side. It doesn't matter where you start cutting, but I do cut this tab first. So let's get that side. We're gonna cut along the score line here, and we're gonna go all the way down, not one score line, but 2. So we're gonna stop at the second one. We're gonna cut off the big rectangle, leave the square, and then we're going to cut a little angle that'll finish our fold-in tabs so that they fold nice and it's not too bulky. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Cut nice and straight down the score line, cut off the big rectangle, and bevel. Then our side tabs, we're going to bevel the little square because that's going to go in, and we're going to cut straight along the big rectangle. So big rectangle, cut straight, the little square, bevel. That'll make it tuck nicely and give your 40 or your 90-degree corners. Same thing with the other side. All right, back to our template here. We're going to cut out a window. I did the window with the stitched rectangles dies. I'm going to show you that on my chart. I've got my stitched rectangles, and we're going to use the 2 3/4 by 1 7/16 inch die. I call it I, so it's right in the middle. I always label these A being the largest all the way down to the smallest, so it's right in the middle. And let's grab our Simply Score tool here. Let's grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut out this window. All right, so I've got my got some low tack tape, and I'm going to center this as best as I can center. We always joke that my eyes aren't on center, but I do the best I can. And tack that down, and let's cut the window. I like these stitched rectangle dies because when we lift and reveal, I'm going to show you the cool detail. So the stitched rectangle leaves a stitch around the window, and it also leaves a stitch around the cutout. So we've got this adorable stitched rectangle. Save that. We're going to use that in the front of our box. Now the next thing we need is some window sheet. I've got some window sheet that's 2 inches by 3.5. And here it is. Now if you're unsure about your window sheet, the best way to do is go to the inside of the box and go around the opening with tear and tape. If you want to, you can use liquid glue. But if you go right around the opening and then you place your window sheet, you won't have any exposed glue or any glue that seeps out to the window or any glue on the inside of your box. So this is how I usually do my windows. Sometimes I'll put it on the very edge, as far to the edges as I can get on the window sheet too. I always use tear and tape because as good a gluer I am, and I am a pretty good gluer, I've got a good steady hand and I usually don't use too much, I still find that on the window sheet, if you do get any glue anywhere, liquid glue, it just doesn't clean up right. The window sheet never looks the same. So for me, quick grab, dry adhesive, something strong like tear and tape is my friend. I'm just going to make sure that my adhesive is completely covered. Now, see here I'm a little over, and here I'm a little bit wide. Had I had liquid glue here, I'd have a mess. But since it's not liquid glue, I can just run my take your pick tool and just lift up the excess there and kind of peel it away. It isn't much at all because we went right up to the edge, but you see it's just rolling right off with the tip of my take your pick tool. And now we have no exposed adhesive at all. Now we're going to continue with our tear and tape. I'm going to add some here to the long segments on the front of the box. All right, so we've got our glue on the long. Now let's also put some glue here on our tabs. And what I realize is that I like these on the same side. If you also watch my Facebook Lives, I did it on the other side, on the outside of the box. And let me show you what would happen. So if you had your adhesive here and you fold this up, so you fold in, you fold to the front, then you fold to the back. And what happens is you get this little tab here, and then you could see the tab from the window. But if you put the adhesive on the same side, then when you put together your box, this little tab goes up first. So in from the outside, up. This one goes up first, and then this wraps around, snugs it in between the 2 layers, and you don't have any tab here that you can see through the window. All right, so just a little tidy tip that I realized afterwards, and wanted to share that with you as I'm making my 3rd box like this style in this design. So sandwich that little tab in between these big ones, and you won't see it on the inside of your box through the window. For my treat, I decided to use these Fannie Mae mint meltaways. I just picked these up in my grocery store. Look for this Fannie Mae display in your grocery store or in discount stores.
They're individually wrapped and it fits 3. We did Facebook Live today, and we did Lindt truffles fit 3 across in here, and the Valentine's Hostess products fit, like the Valentine Ding Dongs and the strawberry bunk cakes. So if you find other things that fit in this window box, please share with us. I have a kitchen table stamper craft social. It's our Facebook group where we have a lot of fun and games. Come join us. But if you make this box and you find a fun treat that fits, share with us there on the craft social, okay? So here is our little Velcro closure. I get these on Amazon. I'll include a link for you. I get them in packages of 56 times 6 packages, so I get a pretty good deal on them and always have them stocked here. All right, now last little detail here. It's just a finishing touch, and you can take it or leave it if you want. I've got a corner rounder here. It's the We Are Memory Keepers Corner Chomper. I have always loved this corner chomper. I've had it for a very long time, and I'm just gonna round my corners. Then pop the box closed, hold it nice and square, burnish to get that adhesive lift, and then you want to burnish down your Velcro on both sides. So now you've got a window box. Look at those adorable treats. Velcro close. Let's get it decorated. So we've got this piece and we saved it. Let's do some fun treatment to it. I'm going to bring my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in again, and we're using the Raindrops Embossing Folder. I love this folder. It's such a cute little design, and you can use it for so much. We've got rain boots, or I don't know, just so many things. Rainbows. We had such a great rainbow suite not too long ago. Really cool folder. We're gonna just pop up our label. I like to put it so that it's level with the line, so my raindrops are falling straight down. That's a gentle rain. We don't need like a raindrops flying sideways like a typhoon, right? So let's give it a crank and add some texture. And that's cute, right? A little something more specific than a polka dot with those teardrops. Now let's accentuate that with a craft white ink pad. So I've got my craft white, and I'm going to open the pad full, get a good grip, and then just bringing my pad flat against the cutout. You don't want to approach at an angle because then you'll end up with a mess that isn't on just the raised areas. You want to get just those raised areas as much as possible. So you're going to bring it flat. You're going to hold your cutout flat and just swipe over each of these dots. You're going to get some in between your raindrops. It's going to look just a little bit distressed, but you can keep the mess to a minimum by don't approach at an angle, approach flat, and use a very gentle touch, because as you can see, I can pile on this ink, going in different directions. I can keep on swiping one more time until Sunday. But once it's on there, you're not getting it back off. So take your time, make multiple passes with the ink pad with a very gentle touch, and you'll get some really good results. Got my Rain or Shine Designer Series paper, and this has a direction. Let's pay attention, make sure the raindrops are falling down. It is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, and we're gonna round the bottom 2 corners. This is 3 1/2 by 1, and we're gonna adhere those Designer Series papers to the top of our box. I love this little pop of mango melody gingham. Look at that. Oh, those flowers are cute too. I hate putting adhesive on the pretty side, but this gingham, or this check, I don't know what you would call this one, a gingham or a check. This one is going to just add that little bit of sunshine. We're gonna give it a little tippy toggle, and then this one's gonna get toggled too. But before we glue that one down, let's get some linen thread and tie a bow so that it's a little bit more substantial. I'm gonna take my twine and I'm gonna wrap it 3 times. So let's see if this one's enough. I'm gonna start from the front. I'm gonna leave about 3/4 of a hand length so that we have room to tie a bow. And then I'm going to wrap 1, 2, so that it's 3 times across the front. And when you get back to this side, then you're going to tie a bow. Let's get some ribbon scissors and cut away from the spool. And I'm going to just finesse my loops a little bit here because I want them big and loopy, but not that big. All right, then I'm going to slide this a little bit to the left and down a little bit, and then I'm going to bunch it up. So that's a nice solid wide line. All right, I think I got it about the way I want it. So what I'm going to do is get in there with my tear and tape because that's going to secure it just the way I want it. Got a little tear and tape, and you see I went past the edge. No worry, watch. And then I just grab that overhang and then fold it back up. Same with this side. There's a little bit past the edge. With the tear and tape, you can just fold it. No mess. Now we got it. Let's add it to the front. Let's bring this guy back in so we can see. Cutie. All right, now I've got too long on this. Let's give it a little trim and slide to the side. Now, we've got to do some stamping. I love the Rain or Shine bundle. Have you guys seen this one in the spring catalog, Playing in the Rain? With the Playing in the Rain dies, you can bundle them up, save 10%. The Rain and Shine Designer Series paper is what we used with it from that suite. And then we're also going to use the absolutely adorable loose daisy embellishments. Those are all from that Rain or Shine suite. All right, let's go ahead and stamp our turtle with Memento. And we're going to give him a couple of little accessories too, because I can't resist. Here's our turtle. I'm just using scraps of basic white here. I've got a couple more little scraps over here. I want my turtle to have a puddle and an umbrella. I thought he looked a little worried, so I figure if I gave him an umbrella, he wouldn't be so worried that he was going to get caught in the rain. All right, let's get some Stampin' Blend markers. I'm going to color my turtle Granny Apple, Pale Papaya, and then I have just the light pumpkin pie. All right, I'm going to do all of my green the same way here. I'm going to do light Granny Apple and just little circles and fill him in. I'll work one section at a time. So I'll do his head and neck, then I'll do his back arm, then I'll do his front arm, then I'll do his legs because we want the ink to stay wet. Now what I'm going to do is down the back of his head, okay, and then down the back of his neck where the artist drew some little lines, along his mouth, and across the top of his head where the artist drew some lines, I'm going to add some shadows. And then I'm just going to, with little tiny circles, I'm going to just bring those two shades together. And that's how I'm going to do my green for each of the areas in between the spots on the shell, everything all the same. All right, there's all my green. Now let's do our tortoise. I'm going to take my light pumpkin pie first. So we're starting with our darkest color this time. I know it's a little unusual, but we're going to start with our darkest, and we're going to do just little circles kind of where the arm would cast a shadow right along the shell. And we're going to add that darkest shadow in first, right along the bottom of the shell here. Then we're going to set that aside. We're going to take our dark Pale Papaya and little circles on that wet edge there, and we're going to soften that. Bring it about to the middle of the shell here. Then we'll take our light Pale Papaya, and we just did kind of a dry blending is kind of what that is. We normally would take a light shade and color the whole thing, get a good coat of wet ink, and then blend from there, adding darker colors over and then blending it into the lighter. This is like a dry blend. So you start with the darkest and then do kind of a dry blend out to the lightest. Now for the rest of this shell, I'm going to do more of a traditional blending. So I'm going to do a light base, and then I'm going to come in and add my little shadow with the dark, more of a traditional blending, and then I'll take the light and just do little scribbly circles to bring the light and dark together. Now if you want to, you can go back and just darken that edge even a little bit more with the dark pale papaya. And there's our little turtley dude. I just love how happy and bright this color combination is. So now we've got the papaya, let's do the flower petals. And I just did light flower petals and then dark streak out from the center. And that is all for those. For my umbrella and my puddle, I've got balmy blue and then light night of navy. And I'm going to do some dark balmy blue in the center of the flower. And then for my puddle and my umbrella, I'm going to do light balmy blue. And then I'm going to take my night of navy, the light night of navy. So I'm doing light and light, a different color entirely though. And on the top edge of the puddle here, I'm going to draw the tiniest little line of night of navy. And then I'll soften that, light night of navy, soften it with the light balmy blue. And then for my umbrella, I'm going to do a dark or a light night of navy over my light balmy blue just on the right edge of the umbrella. And then with little tiny circles, I'm going to bring the light balmy blue and the light night of navy together. And that's how I colored that. Let's die cut these. I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here, but we got to get it set back up for die cutting. For die cutting with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you need 1, 2, and then 3. Got these guys. And my Playing in the Rain dies will cut out all 3 of those images in a flash. Give it a little crank, and here's, isn't he sweet? Oh my goodness, I love him. And the way we colored him, simple, pretty simple, right? But still adds so much character. I love that dude. All right, let's get our little tag in here. I already cut this one ahead from a little scrap of basic white, and it is the tag from kind of neglected, but one of my favorite die sets anyways, the Mini Pocket Envelopes dies has that little tag in there. Really cute for adding a small hello. So I've got Granny Apple Green and my Stampin' Pierce mat. My small hello is from the Hello Ladybug stamp set. Of course, you can use whatever little greeting you've got. We're going to ink that and stamp it. I really have a challenge using the colors to stamp my greetings. I tend to always just grab Memento. So this, for me, is really exciting. I love that I stamped in a color, stamped words in a color, and I think successfully incorporated that into the design. So there's our box. We need some dimensionals, and I got some mini glue dots here. I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to my turtle, and then we'll pop him on. I think I like that. Now, I don't ever really push anything down for permanent until I know that I love the placement, because we're going to put the puddle underneath. So I'm going to grab a little bit of liquid glue on my puddle, and then I'm going to place my puddle at the bottom of the box here. And then I can decide, do I want to shift him a little bit? And I do. I want his feet to be like at the puddle level, not like he's floating above it. You see? So now I can go ahead and burnish that down. I'm going to bring in a couple of punch outs that I did. Now, I did these ahead of time, mostly because I had a bunch of this leaf and sprig in my Granny Apple Green scrap bin all ready to use. So why not use it, right? Did that with the bow punch. And then I punched this little flower. That is Mango Melody. And I used the smallest flower from the Petal Park Builder punch. So that's brand new in the spring catalog. Now I want to give that flower just a little bit of shape. I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat and my Take Your Pick tool for that. So let me just pop this in. I'm going to drop my flower on the mat. And then I like to take the lid from the putty end and just press, which will give our flower some shape. And there, now we've got a nice little cup-shaped flower. You can take that out. And we need our glue dots aplenty here because we're gonna put this flower right on the knot. So I got my little sprig, my little flower right on the glue dot. I'm gonna tuck the sprig so that it's right behind the bow and peeks out kind of with the bow. Then we're gonna lift up the flower. It's got a little glue dot on it. We'll stick that right on the knot. And next we're going to just adjust our loops again here. Just a little bit because one of them's a little longer than the other. And now the next thing I'm gonna do is grab my Take Your Pick tool and I'm gonna pick up one more glue dot and just secure underneath the knot to the box so that flower's extra secure, because what I'm gonna do next is a little crazy, but it totally worked. Okay, so let's give it a try and I'll show you. So I've got my little tag and I've got some linen thread. I'm going to take my tag and thread from front to back, and then I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to wrap it around the flower. And then I'm going to, let's see here. Okay, let's get a little more slack because I can cut a little off. Now I'm going to tie. I'm going to go over and under with the loose end. All right, now that it's over and under with the loose end, my tag is secure around those little glue dots that we put in there, so it's secured in there. And I'm going to loop the loose end. This is the end that's still on the spool. Swoop over the top. Then I'm going to tuck, so that little space that you're holding, tuck and pull. And now we've got another ribbon loop, right? So we're going to take the ends and pull so that our loops are about the same size. Again, pull, so our loops are about the same size. Now we've got this kind of flowy double bow of twine here. And I love the natural feel that this brings. It's just got such a cool nature texture. So let's get a ribbon scissor. We're going to cut off the curls so that they're both about the same length on the tail. I just love the kind of wily dimension that it brings and the touch of nature that that texture brings. We've got a couple of embellishments because I can't help myself. The little flowers here, the loose daisy embellishments, and I'm also using for a bit of sparkle, kind of raindrop sparkle. These are iridescent pastel gems. There's a balmy blue one here. I'm going to put this big balmy blue guy right in the center of my flower. Oh, come here, you big balmy blue guy. And I love how it pulls the balmy blue up from the back. Got my little umbrella to add now too, because look, doesn't he look worried he's gonna get caught in the rain? Let's help a turtle out here. I'm gonna put one of these little mini glue dots on the handle. And then I'm going to put a mini dimensional. Oop, I just dropped my umbrella. Come here, you. Put my mini dimensional on the other end. Now we can pop this at his hand. Cutie cute. And last but not least, my favorite part, let's do these gorgeous little flowers. So what I like to do is with small embellishments like this is I like to put my glue right where I want my embellishment to live. See? Nice white little speck where I want it to live. And that will wait patiently for you to grab the flower, and then you can add the flower into the waiting glue. Do you see? No mess, no fuss. You just add the flower right into the glue. I stuck it to my finger that time. Let's do this. There. And then we're going to do one down here too. I can't resist. They're so cute. I'm using the white ones this time. The yellow ones are adorable too. Aren't they just so cute? Some of them are a little bit smaller. Some of them are a little bit bigger. They've got to be in some way handmade because there's different kind of sizes and each one's very unique. Be careful. Oh, this is what I should tell you too, is sometimes they're too thick. Like they're stuck together, not too thick, like too much thick, but like they're too, like a layer of two. And if that's the case, then you'll find that one is glued and the top one is loose, and then you lose the top one, and then you're one flower shorter than you were before, and they're just so cute. You don't want to waste them like that. So sometimes they'll be stuck together in a layer of two. So just give them a little shimmy before you use them to separate the layers so that you don't put two, not knowing that it's stacked too high, and then just lose them like pooping flowers. We don't want to poop these flowers. They're too beautiful to lose. All right, you guys, there is our rain or shine window treat box, and it is our 14 days of love tutorial case. If you've got any questions about the 14 days of love tutorial, about the project that we did today, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, you can email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com to grab the 14 days of love tutorial. It's only available for 14 days. It goes back in the vault on February 13th is your last day to purchase. Buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com and click shop. The link is directly below in the description if you're watching on YouTube. All right, you guys, if you need Stampin' Up products, MarisaAlvarez.stampinup.net is where you'll find them. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.